Welcome back to Pittsburgh. It is the opening day of the NCAA volleyball tournament regionals, and Oregon has come to town to take on the top-ranked team in the nation, the Pittsburgh Panthers. For the first time in tournament history, Pitt is the #1 overall seed. They have dominated all season long, part of that triple threat that we had talked about. Oregon will serve. Pushed outside to start things off. Tori Stafford. And block Babcock. Get used to it. Right side, backcourt.
Well, they want to get her going early and soon, and that's what she does. She delivers, and way to set the tone.
Rachel Fairbanks will start things off. Serving for Pittsburgh. Their setter, they run a 5-1 offense, 5 hitters, 1 setter. Both of these teams do that. Outside, Mimi Collier, the big gun for Oregon. And a miscommunication, very rare, maybe some jitters.
I agree, I think a little bit jitters here. You're coming into Pitt's home. The stands are packed, the #1 team in the country. Gotta take care of that one.
Mackenzie Morris was ready to set that ball. She collided a little bit with Kristen Klein. They were unsure who was going to take it. If you're Oregon, Nicole, what's your focus in these first few points?
If I'm Oregon, I want to serve tough and set the tone. We already saw the triple block going out to the outside right there, so they're already dialing that block in and trying to slow down these attackers.
Mackenzie Morris puts the first ball on Tori Stafford for serve first. Morris back to Collier. Collier hits at a very high contact point.
She does, and that's what head coach Matt Ulmer told us is, look, our tempo is fast, but we don't want it to be too fast that the ball's low, because Mimi Collier can get up and hit over the top of these blockers.
Stafford, dime pass. To the middle, Pittsburgh wants to get it going, and they do, to Bree Kelly, an important part of their offense.
She's been huge in the middle position for Pitt this year, and just another dynamic middle who works hard.
Valeria Vasquez Gomez. To the net, service errors for Pitt early on.
And I think we might see a few of those. I mean, even though it's Pitt's home, they've been #1. This is a huge match for both of these teams, so they got to work out a few of the nerves.
In comes Daly McClellan. Back to Babcock. She elevates with power for the kill.
Well, she makes it look easy, I'll tell you that. She comes out, goes up so high, flying in the air, gets on top of that ball, and she can put it wherever she wants.
Kat Flood entering now. Kat Flood in a service role this season. Wanted to come back to compete for a championship. Pass is perfect. Quick to Collier. Tori Stafford over her shoulder down. Stafford rips it cross court.
There is a thunderous boom when Stafford and Babcock hit the ball, and this place just erupts after these huge kills.
Thunderous is exactly the right word, Nicole. The building trembles with anticipation when they're set. Here comes Kat Flood again. Babcock. Mimi Collier, big block in front of her with Jones and Babcock.
And that back row attack from Michelle Oobete for Oregon, number 19, is something they've really added in. Get the response, and Mimi Collier with a sharp angle attack.
Tori Stafford, another really good pass, lets them run the middle. Well picked up though by Morris.
I think Oobete, a little bit too much thought into that one. She had the strong approach going up, looking like she was gonna rip it in a last-minute decision. You can see her setter Klein encouraging her, like, you got the next one.
Here she comes, Olivia Babcock with 70 service aces on the season. Well passed. Such an important kill. Oni Ofebu.
Oni Ofebu, in my opinion, is one of the top middles in the country. She touches 10 feet 11 inches. She really gets up there, and she is going to be hard to stop today.
Little server with a big personality. Maya de los Reyes brings lots of energy. She was awesome at practice yesterday. Tori Stafford again. How do you combat? I know, right? You throw your hands in there. What do you do about a problem like Tori Stafford?
Well, that's why they want to run the triple block, but you've got to make that decision of when you can get that player over there. And if you do have 3 up, you do expose the court a little bit in the right front for the tip to be open. Excuse me, left front.
Perfect pass. Passing from Oregon has been strong so far. Fairbanks outside. Collier's going to swing as many balls as she can. It's brought back in. Trying to make a big swing on it. It needs to be as aggressive as Colby Neal was doing.
It does, and Colby Neal has really elevated her offensive game, mostly known for her blocking, but take a look at this save for Pitt, and they're just making a smart play, putting it in a good spot.
Passing by McClellan has been on point. Oh, it's coming over. And it's a kill. That counts.
Doesn't always have to have the thunder behind it, but this is what counts, the grit, and it pays off here with a little bit of help from the net for Pitt.
I want to know what Babcock has been doing to live her life right to have that kind of karma. Was there a net violation? There was not. Ball's up again. Oobete several times. I like the idea from Vasquez Gomez, it was just wide.
Good idea, just, yeah, like you said, not quite off the block, but she's trying to go and swipe it off Oregon's block out of bounds. And you just see the quick reaction from Pitt on these touches. It's unbelievable.
Yep. I think a lot of teams feel that way. Service is long, good eye.
I do like that serve. I know it was out, but trying to push Vasquez Gomez deep, and Oregon's coach Ulmer right there told us that was one of the strategies, to try to get her the ball as much as possible, make her work and serve receive.
Erica Chester-Diller, one of the assistants for Oregon, who usually calls the serving signs, is home sick, so they are missing her today. To the middle, just got right up and on top of it.
And Oregon trying to keep it alive and get back, but just not enough. Bree Kelly going up big and establishing that middle connection.
It's an early timeout for Oregon as Pittsburgh leads 11-6. Only one attack error. Pittsburgh hitting 429, Oregon hitting 0. Good news is Oregon was the last team to beat Pitt here. Bad news is it was 14 months ago. I mean, Pittsburgh has just been dominant at home. Perfect all season long at home. Their only loss this year coming to SMU in a 5-set upset.
And that one. Looks like it might have been going long, but here's the thing with Pitt serve. They're a very good serving team. You've got to follow that ball and make a very fast decision if you're going to pass it or not. Didn't commit on that one.
Oh my, back-to-back aces.
Well, Pittsburgh is really pushing him deep on that serve. That one going to Owabete, trying to go in the seam of Mimi Collier, number 15 for Oregon, and Michelle Owabete.
Mallory Meyer, a true freshman. We have seen her do great work from the service line. She has been a part of almost every set for this Pitt team. Block sends it back, but Collier's got the defense. That's a huge block. Didn't you just say Neal is known for her blocking?
She certainly is, and she is good at reading it and getting her feet set. Good balance, and look how high above that. Her elbows are over the net, but not only that, her press.
Michelle Owabete serving. Trouble play, Babcock keeps it in play. Morse will go out to the right. That's done. How important is that right side attack going to be for Oregon today?
It's going to be huge. You know, Pitt's head coach Dan Fisher said, look, we know they've got Mimi Collier, and we got to focus on her, but I think, in my opinion, Owabete, Neal, Glover, they've got to step it up and provide some balance as well, which they always do.
The harder they hit, the harder they fall. It was a big swing and a bigger block as Collier and Neal combine.
Very good defensive player at the net.
Fairbanks back to Babcock. And a pounding. Let's check in with the third member of our team, Michaela Chester.
I just listened into Oregon's huddle, and Matt Ulmer's message was, we're even with them. It's just going to be about who can believe right now. He thinks that they are even and right there with them. He wants them to go back to the service line and trust that they can make those big-time serves. And he also said, why are we avoiding the block? Let's use it, Emery.
That's a great point. What they need to do right now is fix their side-out percentage, as Oregon's only siding out at 46%. And Babcock starting to catch on fire.
Well, that set, I actually really liked it. It was a little bit off the net. Usually one a little bit tighter, but she can hit the ball from anywhere off the net, and you see she's just going right around it.
Yeah, exactly. Collier's up plenty high, and over she goes on the outside of the block that time. Rachel Fairbanks. Excellent dig. Stafford from the middle, denied. And Vasquez Gomez through the trees. There was a touch. Point Pittsburgh.
It looks like Oregon's saying no touch. They did get another triple block up there.
Players are telling head coach Matt Ulmer, no, we did not touch it, so he is going to raise the challenge card for the first time. Callie Kimura, our official. Going to see, was there a touch?
The original call was Pitt's point for no contact. He believed the Oregon coach is challenging that there was a touch.
We heard Matt Ulmer yesterday talk about the aggression that this Ducks team needs to come
that
out
it was
with.
not touched.
Let's see, do we see a touch?
Look for those fingers.
It looks like a field goal to me.
It does. It looks like it's going right through, and no, you do not get 3 points for that attack.
Yeah, there you go. And I don't see any rotation on the ball. So it's interesting.
I think either way, sorry for interrupting, but 16-9, a good time to kind of, if you don't want to take a timeout, give it a try, see if you can get the shift, but have a moment to stop this momentum.
Yeah, that's through the uprights, though. Here we go. I don't see a change in rotation of the ball, Nicole.
No, I don't see that, or any fingers kind of moving that you might see bending back a little bit in this slow motion. Good
Yeah.
Camera work. Thank you, crew.
Upon review, can they hear me? Okay, okay, there we go. Upon review, the ball was not contacted. It's going to be Oregon's point, and the challenge is retained.
So that's the thing. The one time that going through the uprights works to your advantage, right? It's the worst thing as a blocker when you're like, she went through me, but this time, okay, she went through you, there was no touch. Your point, yeah, I meant to do that.
Exactly. Practice it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Mackenzie Morris serving. Back to Babcock. A use off the block.
Well, Babcock came in a little bit inside in a thumb down attack to get that off the block.
She's so explosive when she jumps up. I mean, you can really see the transfer of power in her approach. Vasquez Gomez. What a pretty set. And if you hadn't covered your own set, it might have been out.
And you see Kristen Klein, Oregon setter, coming the opposite way towards Mimi Collier, but does a nice job reversing that over, thinking that Pitt is going to go with Collier, but no. They're very good at the block, closing that up.
Yeah, and she didn't intend to cover that ball. It actually hit body. Oh my! Bree Kelly, business trip.
That was huge, and a thump hitting the ground. Bree Kelly fronting the hitter, throwing those hands to the left in the angle, just clamping that.
Beautiful pass, and an important run to the middle. O'Neal Fabu trying to get a little emotion on Oregon's side.
Yeah, you know, they need to get something going over here, and I love that she went back to Ofebu in the middle, and she comes in and just puts that one straight down.
Daly McClellan serving. Pittsburgh mostly stacked to the right. And the serve by McClellan right into that traffic. What makes it so difficult when a server is serving into what we would call a stack when most of the players
Well,
that
they've
side?
got a lot of people there, a lot of communication needs to happen. The front row hitters are trying to get in position, so it creates some chaos.
Going the other way this time, Fairbanks behind. And Dan Fisher unhappy. Calls a timeout. In the end, Brooklyn DeLay and company of Kentucky were just too much. They will face the winner of this match.
Right there, Coach Dan Fisher talking to Fairbanks. Looking at the stat sheet, so maybe looking at the distribution, giving some feedback on that.
Let's check in with Michaela Chester.
Listened in again, and Matt Ulmer's message this time, Anne-Marie will like this one. He really likes serving into area 5, so look for that moving forward. And he loved, pointed out the response from One Ofebu, said we cannot wait for Pitt to make mistakes. Look at what Oni just did. She got blocked and then went up and put a great kill down. What a response from her.
You're right, Michaela, I do like that, serving into that zone. Matt Ulmer told his team earlier today, go to your best serve, whatever feels best. Attacking high hands is Olivia Babcock.
And right now, Babcock on fire. Only one error so far. They have not been able to slow her down yet on the block. And it doesn't mean a straight down block. Even a good touch, Oregon able to dig it and transition.
Ryla Jones, true freshman, up front, flanked by Stafford and Babcock. What a set. Ball is out, but the pickup was great, the set was great.
And good placement here by Oni Ofebu. You see she's cranked the last two, but coming in, she's established that she's got the hit, and now goes for the soft touch.
Kat Flood slid under that. She is wearing a Libro jersey as well as Emmy Klicka. they don't have to use a substitution for Cat Flood when she comes in to serve, so that's why he has both of them in the Libero jersey. Mimi Collier in the backcourt serving. She is also an offensive weapon from the backcourt. And gets an ace.
Well, Tori Stafford, although that was not an excellent pass, that is an area that's really improved her game this season, was passing. But Mimi Collier trying to attack her cross court. And it's working.
Yeah, this is what Matt Ulmer told us yesterday. When you serve to that area 5, as Michaela was saying, good things happen.
Take a look at this one, going angle across right in the seam of Vasquez Gomez and Stafford.
Just as he asked in the timeout that Michaela heard. Stafford said, look, my pass wasn't great, give it to me and I'll make it right.
There you go. That's an elite player. And that's what the pin hitters, which are the ones hitting at the red and white antenna that you see, are doing so well right now against Oregon's block, is using it and tooling it off.
Front court setters both sides, a senior Rachel Fairbanks for Pittsburgh, freshman Kristen Klein for the Ducks. Fairbanks has options. Goes to Stafford, up and on the top.
Well, the power that's coming off these hits, they are not tipping at all from what we've seen, and just going after the Oregon block with no fear, attacking it head on.
No surprise, Matt Ulmer wants to slow it down with a timeout. Babcock hitting 600. Let's take a look at it. It's worth seeing twice.
Well, as we mentioned, she'll not only hit from the front row, but the back row. She comes in so aggressive and strong, and with a little help of the net on that one. She is an elite athlete, one of the best opposites in the country, and she's doing it all tonight. No fear against that Oregon block. She is handling it just fine.
Olivia Babcock, the ACC Player of the Year. She was the National Freshman of the Year for the ABCA last year, and very much a semifinals for National Player of the Year.
Scary, only a sophomore.
Yes.
Just imagined.
Yeah. Rachel Fairbanks and Tori Stafford also join her as national semifinals for Player of the Year.
And aces, take a look at that, 70 aces on the season. Babcock in the first meeting with Oregon rattled off quite a few, maybe 5 or 6 aces against them. Again, that was Oregon early on. They have made some adjustments with their lineup, and also they had a lot of new faces on this team stepping on, so getting that communication in the passing game has been huge and a big improvement for the Ducks.
Ducks still struggling, hitting 0 and siding out at only 45%. We'll see what Babcock does from the service line. They have as many errors as they do attacks. That's what we mean when we say hitting 0. You don't have an advantage in kills over errors. For Oregon right now, it is 5 kills and 5 errors on 26 swings. That's 0. Maya de los Reyes in again. Calls her own number. De los Reyes digs that from her knees. Blocked with her hands, beautiful block. That's the problem versus Pittsburgh, they keep coming at you.
Well, here's the problem, what I just saw. They set Babcock on the D-ball, which is that back row attack from the right back position. They cover it and they flip it the other way. Fairbanks slings it out to Stafford on the other pin, and it's such a quick tempo. It's hard to get those blockers in front.
You know, Nicole, following up on your point, that is the triple threat that you talked about at the beginning. Babcock, Fairbanks, Stafford. Fairbanks also called her own number there, and it was picked up too. So that's what we're talking about right now. Fairbanks still front court, whereas Kristen Klein is serving the setter for Oregon and got a little too much heat on it.
And that's what head coach Matt Ulmer told us is, look, we're going to have misses. And I know that's going to happen because we have to serve tough against this Pitt team. They are so talented.
Yeah, and the numbers look okay in terms of the score. It's not a blowout, but Pittsburgh has more errors than they probably like. 6 attack errors, along with 3 service errors. And those 9 points have been helpful to Oregon. Back. Noemi Glover gets it done.
Well, Noemi Glover, she is a high flyer. She's been learning this year kind of what swings will work at this level and what won't throughout the season, and her game is just elevated.
And she's one of those players that's played in all 112 sets, so consistency for Glover. Stafford gets underneath it. Over dig. Oh my goodness, sledgehammer.
What I'm seeing right now is when Pitt gets those coverages, the tempo is so quick to the other player for the attack that Oregon block is not able to get there and close it, attacking the seam. You got goosebumps over there.
I did. I got goosebumps from that. I mean, that was just wait a second, you didn't mention my name when you were talking about the threats in this team. Say my name, Valeria Vasquez Gomez. Noted. It is set point, Pittsburgh. Tight pass. Oh boy. Fairbanks quickly. Outside off the block, and Pitt takes set number 1. It was not even their cleanest set, but Pittsburgh ended up with big arms and a set 1 win. Meanwhile, right here at the Peterson Event Center, we are having a great day. Earlier today, a 4-set match. Missouri did the best they could, but Kentucky proved to be too powerful. Brooklyn DeLay, SEC Player of the Year, showed up like it.
She certainly did. She came out and set the tone from point number 1. I think Missouri struggled, and we saw the Missouri team they know in set number 3, where they just put it down on Kentucky, but Kentucky's response was huge.
And Pittsburgh tried to continue their great success under Dan Fisher, who is the ACC Coach of the Year. Rachel Fairbanks will be the first server of set number 2. Line goes back to Glover, it's out.
And I like how Glover followed that one out, because as we've seen, Pitt has been blocking very well so far this match.
No question, Pitt with 3 blocks already. Here is Morris. To Bree Kelly. Over the top. Babcock, good swing. And a Pitt player in the net. Oregon point.
Middle blocker, Bree Kelly right there in the net on that one, just a little bit too much. But Oregon making some huge digs throughout that rally.
Oh boy. Lunch for any middle blocker. You said it right up there, she will eat.
Well, especially for Onio Faber. She gets up so high, as I mentioned, touches 10, 11. So I'm pretty sure she'll do that to any set you give her.
I'm pretty sure when I said eat, I expected you to say and leave no crumbs, but
yes,
you didn't.
I will try it again.
A serve by Morris. That's what they need, that serve, that tough serving. That's why Matt Ulmer told them, do whatever you serve you think is best, whichever one is hot.
Well, and down the line right now with Pitt setter coming from right back.
And the tough serve the other way. Babcock. Interesting, that's the matchup we were looking at. Mimi Collier versus Olivia Babcock.
Right. That one, Collier for Oregon, just not getting those hands over enough, so the ball sliding right down in between her and the net.
I bet you she won't make that mistake twice. Here goes Collier. You have to set Collier on that ball. Stafford, chip shot. Attacking the high hands of Olivia Babcock and Brie Kelly.
Well, and that's a smart shot. And again, as head coach Matt Ulmer said, don't go around it. Don't be afraid of it. Attack the block. That was a good angle from Collier there on the outside hand of the middle blocker for Pitt.
Yeah, that from the reporting of Michaela Chester in Oregon's huddle. Isn't it nice to have Brie Kelly? She was out all last year injured. Boy, you need her this year.
Yeah, she is offensive, defensive, you name it. Transfer from Florida, coming in here leading the ACC in hit percentage this season, and third in blocks. Those are some good stats.
Yeah, and she would lead the NCAA in hit percentage if she had enough attempts. There's a certain number you have to have for conference play. It's a little bit higher for NCAA. Cat flat underneath it. Stafford up high, flat.
Well, and here's what Pitt has carried on from set number one, their digs. They had about 15 digs in set number one, and their point scoring was over 50%, meaning when they got those digs, they were scoring half the time.
Cat Flood will continue to serve. Drops it short. That's sent back by Babcock. You got to go higher than that if you're going to tip over her. Beautiful dig. Longest rally we have seen so far. Shut down by the block. How important is it for Oregon to be able to have solid blocks on their smaller players?
Well, we've got some big offense coming here from Pitt. You see Chris Klein there, Oregon setter on the outside, setting that block inside. She sees the block is in, makes the adjustment, and then the middle can close to her.
And Klein listed at 5'11" versus Stafford 6'2". Quick glance to see where the blockers are by Klein. Tori Stafford loves that line.
Well, even with the switch, Oni Ofebu after the slide couldn't quite get back to the middle, so I thought, oh, this is a good opportunity for Oregon with her lining up on that line, but Stafford still just takes advantage of it.
Boom, 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 boom. Olivia Babcock to the service line. She the most terrifying server in the NCAA? I think so. Good pass. Babcock begging for it. Covers herself. Big time block. Owabete and Ofebu.
Oregon making some good reads and decisions on the block. And again, that press over the net is huge as they get that one straight down so close to the net. Hard to cover it and get another chance.
Stafford. Blocked. And they set it up. Klein glances to see where the blockers are. Stafford again. De Los Reyes gets under it. Wow. De Los Reyes again. Pittsburgh outlasts Oregon in the longest and most intense rally we have seen.
Everyone taking a minute to catch their breaths, but that was a really fun rally. Oregon is making some huge digs. That set at the end a little bit low, in my opinion, to Owabete. I think she can get up and get on top of that ball as well. I don't think, I know.
Tori Stafford. Serve is good. Oh, a little fancy set from Klein. Net violation against Oregon, and just like that, Pitt closing the gap.
Overall, minus that error, Oregon's block has been making more of a difference this set than set number one. They're getting good placement, they're getting there and closing it and putting their hands over.
pass. All right, you said she's there for her blocking, but Colby Neal can hammer away too.
Well, that's an area that she's improved this year and really become an offensive threat for Oregon. Look at that, going up right in between the blockers. Thank you very much.
McClellan out. She's been doing a great job defensively. Noemi Glover in up front. Glover is ready. Collier. Babcock sent back, and Pittsburgh's defense giving him a chance in every rally. Oh my, we talk about quick to the pins, quick to the outside. Yikes.
I like the height of that set to Owabete, and that's what I was talking about. Lifted it up a little bit to her outside, and she can get on it. A little space there given from Fairbanks in between that outside antenna, and she attacks it.
Yeah, no time for Pittsburgh's middle to close it had she gone somewhere else. Okay, so we got Babcock now twice.
Well, that was one of the areas Oregon's head coach Matt Ulmer said is, look, we've got to slow her down. They have a very strong back row attack.
Yeah, they may have just poked the Tiger though. We'll find out. Klein to the middle, and again. Colby Neal doing a good job from the middle, spreading the offense and using her. It's a 3-0 scoring run for Oregon. They have extended their lead to 5.
Well, O'Neal Fabu was actually at her friend's club volleyball tryout, just sitting down on the sideline watching her. And it was head coach Matt Ulmer, of all people, who noticed her and got her up off the bench to pep her. She was not even trying out, and now look at this. It was Ulmer who initiated the start to her volleyball journey. When she entered the transfer portal, Matt Ulmer picked up the phone.
No question. I mean, Matt Ulmer at that point was a club coach at a club called Cal Juniors. How'd you like that? And that's so Matt Ulmer. For anybody that knows him, says, what are you doing? You're just sitting on the bench.
Let's
Come on
get
up. Yeah, and he just peppered with her for a little bit, and boy, he can pick him. Mallory Meyer. Ace serve for Pittsburgh.
And a good timeout for Pitt as they gathered at Oregon with the momentum, going on a run there. That's when you need those timeouts, just to slow things down, refocus.
Pittsburgh had 5 errors in the first set. They only have 1 in the second set. And yet it's Oregon winning with that big arm of Collier.
Well, Collier's another one of the strongest back row attackers in the country. They will get it to her as much as they can back there because she is lethal.
Oregon hit .069 in the first set. They are hitting .318 in the second set as Pittsburgh puts the ball on the floor.
Well, that is a beautiful connection with Fairbanks and Kelly there in the middle. Wow, just quick off the hands, comes up and annihilates it.
Love it, heat. Collier looking for the angle, it's a little too sharp.
That was quite a dig, just right off the stomach. Yikes, that probably knocked the wind out of you.
And I misspoke earlier. I think I said it was Pittsburgh had errors in the first set. No, it was Oregon that had the 5 errors. That was just Oregon's second error in this set. Back, Babcock gets the fans out of their seats.
Free ball here for Klicka to take it. And again, back to Babcock through the seam of Oregon's block.
That was just nasty, and I love it. Bayless takes her first swing. Brooke Bayless now has entered, or Blair Bayless, excuse me. What do you make of that addition, Nicole?
Coming in for Vasquez Gomez.
Yep, who's now back in.
Possibly just a little bit of a change with that momentum, you know, personnel change, give them a different look.
Uh-oh, communication
And
right
possibly
between.
for the passing, because they were struggling on that connection. Vasquez Gomez and Stafford, as we saw in set number 1, a couple balls in between them.
Seeing a little bit of stress on Pittsburgh's side of the net. Just Pittsburgh looking a little out of sorts. Can the Ducks take advantage? They missed the opportunity with that set.
That was a perfect opportunity there for Oregon. Get the free ball and get that momentum and just pounce on it.
Sometimes you try to do things a little bit the hard way. You had Collier on one side. You could have gone back the other way to Glover. Easy to second guess, I realize. Pittsburgh's going to pick up anything soft. Can they get themselves in? The set's a little bit off. Stafford, tough angle. Middle. Bree Kelly goes to work again. Excuse me, that was Oni Ofobo.
Oni, and she is excellent at that hit in front of the setter. We've seen her do a few slides, which is that quick one behind the center. That she developed this year and has just improved game after game.
Babcock again showing her range.
Well, that one coming in strong, looking like angle, thumb down the line, and it wasn't her hardest hit. She knows exactly what kind of attack she needs to do in the moment.
Kat Flood enters to serve. Ryla Jones enters up front, both for Pittsburgh.
Serving air by the Panthers, point Oregon.
Flood will exit as Nemiklicka comes back on. The set kind of stalled a little bit. For a while, it was, you know, driving force with Oregon. Now it's like who makes the least amount of errors.
Exactly. At this level, that's exactly what it's about. And there's one right there for Pitt. That pass not quite high enough, but enough people around there that they could get under that and give an out-of-system ball. You've got Babcock on the opposite side of the court that you could lift that up, or Stafford on the left side.
Collier again, tough serve. It'll be Stafford just to clean up. Beautiful.
Wow.
Ball is in. Point Ducks.
There's that over-the-top hit from the block, and right there, Mackenzie Morris, the libero for Oregon. She didn't start off as the libero, transfer from Kansas State. Her timing, the way they played at K-State, a little bit different than when she came to Oregon, so it took some time for that rhythm and feel.
Cock rears back and hands about, I mean,
Get a few passes in after the match.
Yeah, exactly. She could probably zip it. Stafford kind of making do with that set. Something about the setting feels different. Now, that was a double contact that is allowed if it stays on your side, but it was a double contact over the net. That is not allowed.
Got a new rule change for this year, even being able to do a double contact on the second
Your side,
touch,
yeah.
on your side.
Pitt looks rattled to me, and I'm not sure
Well,
why.
Oregon's elevated.
Yeah.
Look, Oregon came out there at Pitt, their home court advantage, and a few nerves going in, but Oregon has settled down and calmed down, and head coach Matt Ulmer said, look, we play our best when we leave kind of that high emotion out of it.
Yep. Maya De Los Reyes serving. Keeping the ball on Stafford as much as possible. Wow.
But that's just really hard to defend.
Well, that's a great set.
It was.
Just leading Ryla Jones to the ball.
And a freshman there for Pitt, Ryla Jones.
Yeah, and Dan Fisher told us she exceeded his expectations for this year. Upped her strength and jumping maybe 4 inches higher, he said, than at the beginning of her time. Pitt.
And I think for Oregon right now, it's keep playing. They have been doing a nice job from the line with their digs in transition. You don't want Pitt to get any closer.
Kristen Klein serving. Noemi Glover just entered. Who makes the least errors between now and the end of the set?
Yes. As we've said throughout the year, it's the red zone after 20. It's those next 5 points, keeping the unforced errors down.
And a lot can be done from the service line. Freshman Mallory Meyer has been steady as she goes. Meyer, beautiful dig. Stafford gets it back in her face, and it's Meyer again with the dig. Vasquez Gomez. Let's go Glover. It's again Mallory Meyer. Credit Mallory Meyer for 3 digs and a serve in that rally.
And that's why they're putting her in. Strong serve, but gritty play in the back row to keep this offense alive. And you see Babcock going up high in a little bit of a flat swing. No topspin on that one. But she's going after those very tippy fingertips there of Owabete for Oregon.
Pittsburgh chipping away. They're down just 3. Remember that Pittsburgh won the first set by a score of 25-19. Oregon, you talked about it, Nicole, that they cleaned things up a bit in this set.
They have. They've also got their block going. They're recovering those balls off a positive block touch as we touch it. Not a straight down block, but slows the ball down, and they're able to have that chance in transition and score. Those numbers have elevated quite a bit this set from set number 1. I think they've just steadied out the emotions and a little bit calmer in playing the Oregon volleyball. The key here is, like you said, you don't want Pitt to get any momentum here because they are top team.
Because they only lost once during the entire
exactly.
season.
Also because of that.
Yeah, exactly. And the service pressure from Oregon has really come up. They have 3 service aces in this set, but more than that, they're putting Pitt in uncomfortable positions a lot. They can't set Bree Kelly and Ryla Jones as much as they would like.
And it's disrupting that fast tempo we've been talking about from Pitt, and that's been a difference too, with the tough serving down the line.
And looking at the aces by set, and you get the idea of that service pressure for Oregon. But as I said, it's so much more than aces. It's not allowing them to run their offense.
Blair Bayless, right there, number 8 for Pitt, back in the lineup.
Ball coming straight down.
And if they get a pass here, you've got Colby Neal in the front, who's been successful when they've gotten the ball to her.
So are they going now to Bayless in the front court and Vasquez Gomez in the back? We'll see. Great dig for Bayless. Smart play. Behind the setter. Colby Neal, impactful. 3rd kill for her.
I kind of did a little bit of a cringe on that as she took the free ball because you want the libero to take it, but she handled it just fine and then did the work behind. Went up strong, which set up that tip.
Michelle Owabete. Oregon just 4 points away from evening this match at 1 set apiece. Lord, that was a pretty set, but it was out.
And they really do reverse that back almost every single time to Babcock when Fairbanks is pushed over here to the opposite side of the court.
Why?
To change the rhythm, to keep the blockers off a little bit, but right now, working in Oregon's favor.
Michelle Owabete's serve. Vasquez Gomez in, and ball is no touch. Point Pittsburgh.
Point Pitt.
3-point deficit
Serving for the Panthers.
for the Panthers. Can Oregon close it out before Pitt finds a way? The middle seems a little bit low. Ball is still good. Don't celebrate just yet. Bayless comes in and does the work.
She does, and that's why she's in, to get a different offensive look. Vasquez Gomez was hitting negative 200, so that change offensively is why Bayless is in. Hitting at 500, 2 kills on 4 attempts for Bayless.
Final timeout for Oregon. The NCAA Volleyball National Semifinals will be played Thursday, December 19th, starting at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN. For more information on all 90 NCAA championships, visit ncaa.com. The Louisville Cardinals will be hosting that NCAA. Will they be in it? They will have to get past Purdue today, and then the winner of Stanford, Florida will play the winner of Purdue and Louisville. Meanwhile, the winner of this one will face Kentucky. Kentucky got by Missouri with a 4-set win earlier today. In this set, Nicole, things just started to feel a little bit rickety, right? It was Oregon who led by as many as 5.
Yes.
Now 2.
Well, and that's the thing with Pitt. They struggled a little bit with Oregon's tough serve, and also their blocking game for Oregon got going better this set. But Pitt has stayed patient and are waiting for the right time to put it down.
Rachel Fairbanks serving. Just 2-person receive for Oregon. Pass is good. Glover, running a heat. Back to Babcock yet again. Block is huge. There's a moment of hesitation. Does it hit Babcock or does it not? Matt Ulmer for sure is going to challenge that touch. Babcock went straight to the celebration. Did you see that?
I would do.
I would too.
I'm like, what are you talking about? But I do agree. Good challenge.
Don't
there
believe
for
your
Ulmer.
eyes.
No.
Right.
The ruling was it was point to Pitt. Oregon's challenging that the ball was contacted by Pitt before going out.
Yeah, basically Babcock saying, don't believe your eyes, believe what I tell you.
Hey, before we had the review, that's what I was doing too.
All right, let's go. Watch this prove me wrong here. Bang, 1, and then elbow. Let's take a look again.
All right.
Yeah. Off her elbow.
Off her elbow, so acting not in the forte right now, sticking to the volleyball.
Don't
But I
blame
would
her.
have done the same. You know, you want to, this game is tight. Obviously, that was a huge play, but if what we saw stands
Right.
for Oregon, you know, we'll win that challenge.
As you
We
said,
can see.
before the challenge system, truth-telling was not a part of the game.
It was not.
How about that? Even Matt Ulmer is smiling.
He kind of chuckled like, come on, we'll get the challenge card.
Okay, Olivia. We'll
Upon
slow down.
review, the ball was contacted by Pitt before going out of bounds. It's going to be Oregon's point. The challenge is retained.
All right, well, this one is neck and neck, and right here it's Oregon back to the service line. Mackenzie Morris at the line. This has got to stay in. That's a fact.
Olivia Babcock's face there was
Well,
like,
yes.
made you look. Yes, I agree. In is good on this particular play. We got 23-20. If you're Morris, who are you serving?
I'm going right over here to the right side. They're stacked with Kelly, Babcock, Vasquez Gomez all piled up right here, or down line to line with Rachel Fairbanks coming from the back row.
Babcock taking the long trip around. And block not sealed. Point Pittsburgh.
And that's the thing on that block. You've really got to be sealed and pressed over because she's so powerful. She gets that ball through.
Vasquez Gomez. Pass is good. Got to go to Collier. She's way off the net. And it's sended back by Babcock.
Now is the time, in my opinion, of course, to stay aggressive, to go up. Mimi Collier has been attacking this block and having success. You don't want to give any momentum to Pitt's block.
And that ball was so far off the net. This is a critical point. Sent back, we're tied at 23.
Kristen Klein, Oregon setter, thinking that ball was out. Let's see if Ulmer pulls the challenge again.
Indeed he does, and he's challenging in out. Callie Kimura will give us the official.
Original call was Pitt's point. Oregon believes that the ball was out and not in.
Can't see it from that angle.
Hard to tell. Can't see if there's any blue in between. Just has to touch a piece of that white line.
Yeah. Just from that angle, you're not going to be able to really tell. Now, a reminder, of course, that unless there's conclusive evidence here, Nicole, look. Oh. Does the blue ever break?
Right
No, but I see.
on that last part there.
Do you think so?
Just right there, but
But I see blue.
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to gaslight me. I'm like, I
I
see.
mean, I ate my carrots. I'm good.
Let's magnify.
Oof, that's a tough one.
Is it just me, or is it worse when it's magnified? I need to clean my glasses to be able to see that. Keep in mind the original call, and if it's not conclusive evidence to overturn it, then the call will stand. Not necessarily be confirmed, but stand.
Upon review, it's confirmed that the ball was in. The challenge is lost.
You can see from that angle, that's what they saw. And so the Panthers on a 3-0 scoring run. Glover into the net. And for the first time in this set, Pitt leads.
Beautiful pass from Owabete, but Glover just trying to go for that hardest angle crank down right there.
Pitt fans on their feet. It is set point. Pass is good, out to Collier. Attacking the ball as she should is Onia Febu.
Point for Oregon.
She is a talented, athletic player. Like I said, she just gets up so high.
I mean, how about that 4-0 scoring run by Pitt? Daly McClellan. Crowd is vocal and an ace silences the arena.
Well, Daly McClellan and Mimi Collier are the two athletes here that have been here before. So if I want anyone at the line, it's one of them to handle this kind of pressure.
Stafford brings it back. Back court, Fairbanks, and the Ducks have done it. survived the second set to even the match at 1 apiece.
Well, that was huge for Oregon to stay steady, and let me tell you, that was mental toughness right there, because Pitt started to shift that momentum, but Oregon stayed stable and balanced and pulled it off.
Michaela Chester is standing by with Oregon head coach Matt Ulmer.
Coach just took a set from Pitt. What was the biggest difference between set 1 and 2 that you want to see more of?
Yeah, I just thought unforced errors from us early on, kind of what we talked about before, right? Got to limit those as we kind of get into a groove. And then just belief. I mean, this is really a new group, and so for them believing that they can beat a top team and be a top team, and they're starting to see it and starting to believe. You can see it happen before your eyes. We're like, well, we could do this, you know? So I think just consistency there, but I thought we got away from unforced errors early on and got into that match and put a little pressure on them.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Go Ducks.
Well, Oregon has put the pressure on. Can they keep it up? And that belief is such a big part of their game, and they are here ready to battle.
In your opinion, what does Pitt need to do coming out, starting this third set?
They need to get back to Pittsburgh volleyball, which is just distributing that ball, as Coach Fisher said, just playing a little bit better offensively, the sets, the rhythm. Their tempo wasn't as fast as it was in set number 1, so responding to the serve and getting that first contact a little cleaner.
Pittsburgh using Blair Bayless a bit in the front as well. That's a very quick set to the middle, and ball is down.
That was a little bit low, and Bree Kelly made the best of it, got it up over the block, right into the middle of the campfire, as we call it, where no one was around to pick it up.
But everybody's watching. Rachel Fairbanks to serve. Collier's up very short out of the serve receive. Ball hit the antenna. Was it on the attack? No, it was on the block. Off the hands of the blocker, clips the antenna on its way back over. That's out of bounds. Stafford, dime pass. I'm with you though, these middle sets look low.
A little bit trying to push that tempo. Sometimes you can just do it too much, and actually Coach Dan Fisher of Pitt did tell us that one of the struggles is for this team to not always try to feel like they have to play perfect.
Oh yes.
Making every play perfect, but play your volleyball, play loose.
They get a touch on that second attack. Point Pitt.
You can see Ofebu looking at her fingers like, all right, that hurt a little bit on the
Yeah,
tips. Got
exactly. Don't rub it, don't touch it in any way, don't acknowledge how badly that hurt. Vasquez Gomez comes back in, back court, serving, defending. To the middle, the other way. Oregon really involving their middles much more than we saw in the first set.
Well, they're passing a lot better on that first touch. Michelle Oabete with that one, number 19. She is an athlete that anytime I've covered Oregon, she is getting extra reps at pass and serve, no matter what, trying to perfect that.
No good for McClellan on that. You were talking about Oabete. She's done some work for the service line, from the service line too, as she's been improving. We can talk about that a little bit more when she goes to the backcourt.
Love to.
Kat Flood. She's got 4 digs. McClellan puts it in play. There was nobody there for Oabete.
There wasn't, and that was another thing that Coach Ulmer told us is they want to get Oabete tonight, especially going on that BIC a little bit more. Mimi Collier is a go-to BIC hitter all the time, but Oabete, that was another wrinkle that they wanted to show tonight against Pitt.
It's called a BIC because it is a back row quick set, typically out of the middle. Babcock, she's not used to that.
No, she's not. And right now, it's not color up there. It's Michelle Owabete going up, swing block. Look how high they are over the net.
Fans starting to cheer their Pitt team on, sensing they need some help. Tori Stafford, dug by Collier. Collier is a very gritty player. Babcock, that is a how dare you block my ball kind of swing.
Well, it starts with this dig, and I think that is why Vasquez Gomez is in there. She's making big digs for the team, and it goes right out to Babcock. You can see right through the fingers.
Now from the service line, can Babcock strike terror? McClellan handles it. Huge play for Oregon, so smooth.
And that slide attack, which is behind the setter, that's Oni Ofebu's been working on that because she wants to continue on her career and knows to keep that level, you've got to increase your game. So she didn't come to Oregon doing that. She has learned that this season.
Babcock decided to try to make it tough. It's impossible. Very difficult. And Dan Fisher is going to take a timeout, looking a little bit frustrated. Oregon, an early lead in set 3. Third set action, Oregon leading minutes ago. Michaela Chester found a special guest in the stands, Pitt legend, former quarterback Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben, I know you've been supporting Pitt volleyball all season and your kids are big fans, but just tell us what brings you to this game.
Well, this is the most exciting sport there is to watch, and I played for a long time. We really got into watching them last year, and it just continues into this year. Such a fun team and so much excitement.
What do your kids love about watching Pitt volleyball?
There's nonstop excitement. There's literally no time where there's not something going on, and this team is so good. There's so much fun to watch. The talent out here is just through the roof, and Coach Dan gets them going.
As a top athlete yourself, what do you think of the athleticism? Pretty good, huh?
Unbelievable. It's, like I said, the most athletic and some of the most fun sport to watch I've ever seen.
Well, thanks so much, Ben. Enjoy.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Like any parent, you go to any sporting event your kids want from time to time. This is a darn good one to be at. Pitt strikes out of that timeout.
And he said he played, so I wonder how his pepper skills are.
Well, Olympian, I bet they're not to your standards. Judgy Judgerson over here. McClellan, we talk about a long touch on the ball. That one kind of stabbed at it.
Well, and they needed that because Oregon is right now attacking at 100%, meaning they've had a perfect game so far in serve receive. So Pitt's really got to put on the pressure here.
Pressure was short-lived. You mentioned it earlier, perfection for Pitt. It's got to be something to have that kind of pressure all season long as the #1 team. Then SMU, who I don't even know if they were ranked at the time. They certainly finished the season ranked. Upset them. And then Babcock getting it going again.
And they brought that set a little bit more inside. We've seen it a little bit wider, but take a look here, a little bit more inside. So good adjustment for Pitt on that back row D ball in the right back, and she can get it right past Oregon's block.
On floor side, right by that, Olivia Babcock turned to Fairbanks afterward and said, perfect, that was beautiful.
Love it. Although that looked like it was flying out, that had a missile on it, a little bit of a flat hand, no topspin, but that landed right in the corner.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that was, I kind of took my eyes off of it thinking, oh yeah, that's out. Dan Fisher was a little surprised too with the drop on that ball. Michelle Owabete keeping the ball on Stafford as they have tried to do quite a bit. Uh-oh. That would have been a double contact over anyway, and that in fact was what's called.
That's right, and that was just going too tight to the net. Klein not able to save it.
Setter did not contact the ball at the same time with both hands, and so touch one hand, the other, it's spinning over. That's okay if it stays on your side. If it crosses over to the other side of the net, it is a violation. Collier puts up a good set. No touch. It's a Pitt point. 9-9.
Oregon in a two-person passing situation again, pulled up Mimi Collier so she can focus on her attack.
Passing from Oregon has been suspect. Ball outside the antenna. Now if it's gonna, you can be outside the court, but the ball has to pass between the two antennas. It cannot pass over it or to the outside of it. Timeout, Matt Ulmer, after a 3-0 Pitt run.
Good idea to break the momentum there. They're going back-to-back to Mackenzie Morris of Oregon, kind of struggling with that first contact, taking a little bit high. Got to get a little bit more under the ball, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Kristen Klein has a lot of good options here. Mimi Collier on the outside pin for Oregon that she can lift that ball up, even if it's out of system, not perfect on the net. I mean, the setters these days are setting even the middles, which usually you want that ball perfect in the middle, but they're off the net 5-7 feet and still able to get the ball to the middle, which is not easy to do.
Bree Kelly has had a nice night, hitting .417 for Pittsburgh out of the middle. Let's take a look.
Well, she is doing the work here in the middle, coming up strong, and not only offensively, but defensively, and getting those huge blocks right when they need it.
McKellen's got more on Bree Kelly.
I talked to Bree Kelly yesterday. Obviously, she went through a serious injury that sidelined her all of last season, her first year at Pitt. It took a really big toll on her as a person and an athlete. Watching her girls lose in the national semifinals, it was not easy for her. She hated not being able to jump in, but she says now that she's back, she plays with so much gratitude. She said her injury is really the reason why she's going so hard this season, feels blessed to wake up and it be hard every single day. And Emery, one more thing I will add, she said transferring to Pitt was the best decision of her entire college career. She got emotional just thinking about how much this team means to her.
I can believe that, McKelly. You know, several players, as we look at that Pitt point, several players came back this season because they wanted to win a championship this season. They thought they had that kind of chemistry. Valeria Vasquez Gomez being one of those players. Kat Flood, another who accepted this role, a different role, because she felt they could do it this year. Fairbanks serves yet again. Tough ball. Beautiful save by Klein.
That was Morris right there in the white jersey for Oregon, kind of struggling on that pass, but Klein able to get up on top of that one.
There is a challenge. In, out is the question. Let's hear from Callie Kimura.
The ruling on the floor was it's Oregon's point. The Pitt coach is challenging that it was touched in the plane. Had it been touched, it would be considered a back row attack.
Well, let's just take a look.
Let's.
Also gives Tori Stafford just a moment to compose herself. Not quite sure what happened. She was hurt just for a second.
Upon review, the ball was contacted. It's going to be a back row setter, and it's Pitt's point.
So Kristen Klein was back court as she broke the plane.
And you could see she was trying to save it, but Pitt, Bree Kelly there also got a touch on it, so.
Yep.
Then it makes it a back row attack.
Meanwhile, Tori Stafford got to shake off a little bit of discomfort. It looked like a 5-0 scoring run from Pitt.
Okay.
Never mind.
That's a new word, woke. I love that. Klein coming towards us here at the table and reverses that one, and that is an area of improvement. Head coach Matt Ulmer said, look, week after week, she has just improved that balance and range that she's able to set on the court.
Middle, and it's Bree Kelly with her high reach. Bayless out, Valeria Vasquez Gomez in, back to serve.
As you mentioned, Bree Kelly, she's actually second in kills behind Olivia Babcock. Bree Kelly with 8 kills.
Outside, Collier comes in strong. Vasquez Gomez, and now Tori Stafford turns it down the line and off the block.
Well, Vasquez Gomez is getting some crucial and perfect timing on these digs. High hands there. And Fairbanks, you can see she just dials it right up. Stafford comes inside and goes off the outside hand.
Like the idea, it does not fall. Pittsburgh outlasts, the fans explode.
They get this one back up. What a hustle by Klicka, one of the best in the business, keeping her team going.
How about this scoring run? A 7-1 scoring run for Pittsburgh. Oh, over the top, it's too high, easily picked up. That's the way you tip the ball.
And these last points, this is the Pitt we saw in set number 1. They're getting this transition going. They struggled against Oklahoma with a transition game. So Coach Dan Fisher said, we need to clean that up. These last few plays, they certainly have.
Matt Ulmer taking his second time out to talk it over. Tori Stafford, you have to plan for her, and yet there's no way you can really stop her. Just hope to contain her.
Well, 1/3 of the triple threat, as we mentioned at the top of the show. Not only is she offensively a weapon, but she is also passing a lot of balls here tonight. She carries a big load. And look at that block, pressing over, firing her team up with a little celebration. Loving it, giving them that momentum shift when they need it most. And Pitt right now has been on a 4-0 scoring run. Stafford in the front row, 9 kills so far this evening. Getting hydrated up for a long match ahead. We knew this was gonna be a battle. All these matches, this whole tournament so far, as we were on the 5th set last weekend, just the level is increased year after year.
It has been amazing. And I mean, you think of this 4-0 run, it's a 9-1 run overall for Pitt. So again, just Oregon trying to find their footing, and they don't have much time to do it. Pitt has won the first 2 sets, or excuse me, they've won 2 sets. They won the first and third. I know, I need to correct myself there. It's been such a long match. First 2 sets were split. This is the third. Pitt is leading. We're back.
Welcome back.
It's been a long match with some really good rallies.
Wow.
Because of blistering kills like that.
Well, and Glover just gets up so high as well and comes out as she goes back to serve. Dana McClellan.
Pass is solid. Fairbanks back out to Stafford. Off hands and then to Brie Kelly. Wow.
And that's what Pitt was doing in set number 1. They got the coverage off Oregon's block, so it wasn't straight down. Give themselves another chance. And look at this tempo off of this coverage. Right there to Brie Kelly. Oh, bam, right in between the Oregon block. I mean, that's what gave Oregon trouble in set number 1.
What I loved about that tempo was that it was a higher, slower ball to Stafford. So you're like, okay, here's our pace. No, this is our pace. McClellan dimes the pass. Cat flood to Babcock. It's on, and she attacks those hands.
And when Rachel Fairbanks, Pitt setter, makes a dig, they have some pretty good options dialing up these sets to their pin hitters. Babcock right there, number 5, with a huge swing off the block.
7-point lead now, Cat Flood serving. Point Oregon, using the hand contact to have success.
Oni Ofebu having a big night, 8 kills already. That slide attack is working well for her.
Amy Collier sends it long. You look at Oregon's offense and they've got balance across 8 kills, 7 kills, 6, 6. For Pittsburgh, they have relied very heavily on Olivia Babcock, and she has answered with 17 kills.
Well, they were establishing that early in set 1, going to her an awful lot.
Little help from tape. Tight ball. Klein, front court now.
Front row, so she's going to take the dunk on that one.
Yeah, message sent.
And right now, keep an eye. Oregon has 2 hitters, Neal and Owabete. On the outside, Mimi Collier. We've seen her on that Bic, the fast set to the back row.
Same thing on Pittsburgh's side as Rachel Fairbanks is front court. Doesn't really matter when you have Olivia Babcock, does it?
And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a perfect pass every single time, because you've got Rachel Fairbanks there running it down, out of system pass, makes it happen, and then Olivia Babcock. Thank you very much.
Now you got Fairbanks up front with Jones and Bailey. Back to Babcock. That's as pretty a kill as we have seen today.
That was beautiful. Oregon Owabete trying to attack Fairbanks here by going over the smaller block, but she just reverses it right through Oregon's block. Neal and Owabete not able to close that one.
I love the way Babcock backs up to open up her runway to attack. More success, you just talked about her. Kobe Neal.
One of the captains of this team has provided a ton of stability with the culture, the expectations, an excellent leader, Coach said, just good at speaking up.
Fairbanks still a front court setter. Klein serving. Bayless off the block and back. Kobe Neal doing an excellent job blocking. Bete. Stafford pauses midair to take a picture.
Best friends, roommate to roommate, looking at each other, giving the old celebration. And again, it's that triple threat. Babcock, dig, Fairbanks to Stafford.
It's a special combination with Babcock and Stafford. Fairbanks outside to Bayless. Solo block by Glover.
And here's the thing about Noemi Glover. Coach told me a few games ago when I covered them, she just loves to go up and stuff the ball. He said this team, this Oregon team, He's never had one that loves blocking as much as they do.
Oh, it's the best skill. Just destroying somebody's plans in their day. Kelly composed, pops it down, and that's her 10th kill of the day.
Well, she was destroying those plans right there.
What's your favorite skill, Nicole? Mine's
Oh,
blocking.
Okay, all right.
What's
So
yours?
you could play for Oregon. I always love to get, I don't know, a big kill, turn to my teammates when they made a great dig, set it up.
Back.
Kill for the Ducks.
Again, just a beautiful swing.
Glover doing the work out there, getting off the net, making space.
Pitt just 2 points away from capturing this third set. Babcock had to jump back for that set. And that time, gets back, sets in the right place, and she unloads for her 20th kill.
Serving for Pitt, first set point. Valeria Vasquez-Gomez.
Pitt at set point. Valeria Vasquez-Gomez serving. And an ace to end it off. Pitt goes up 2-1 with their 8th service ace of the match. Will Oregon be able to respond? They've got to get it going now, or Pittsburgh, the #1 overall seed, will advance to Saturday.
Your head.
I just put neuro. We told you at the beginning of this match that Pitt has a triple threat in Babcock, Fairbanks, and Stafford. Nicole, once again, they have delivered.
They certainly have. They really have it. They touch, the three of them, the ball in each of these rallies that we have seen, and it is such a quick attack by one, coverage. Fairbanks slings it out to the other one, and it's causing a lot of trouble for Oregon.
Michaela, what is it about Babcock and Stafford that make them such a dynamic duo?
Well, Anne-Marie, they're best friends. Olivia and Tori are a 1-2 punch on and off the court. They both actually committed to Pitt and then played club volleyball together for 2 years in California. They're from the same town, and before that, they broke onto the college scene together. They know each other so well. They are roommates at Pittsburgh. They do absolutely everything together. It makes sense how well they work together on the court. They play for one another. They root for each other's success, and yeah, they're just best friends. It works.
Certainly does. They both play for the Sunshine Volleyball Club, a very successful club in Southern California. Set 4 action beginning, a must-win set for Oregon. Pittsburgh leading 2-1. Klein to Collier. Colby Neal, I feel like she's been a secret weapon today, really supportive from the net.
Absolutely, and I think that offensive piece of her game has really elevated this season. As I mentioned early on, crucial to their blocking game, really. Such a great defender at the net, but that offensive piece, she has just worked so hard.
Collier again looking down the line, easily dug by Fairbanks. She makes it look so easy. And this is what the addition of Blair Bayless has meant to this Pittsburgh team, which she has been getting inserted into the lineup.
Yeah, to start the game, Vasquez Gomez, who just entered playing back row, kind of struggled offensively. So putting Bayless in has really helped Pitt elevate that change in personnel. And they're making a good combo here.
Bayless 3 kills in the short time that she has played. Collier changes her pace. Ball's over. And just beautiful. The elevation, eyes got really big on Ofebu.
And a chance here for Oregon. Yeah, when she's at the net, Oni Ofebu, if you give her that free ball over, it's going straight down.
Yeah, 6'3". She transferred from UC Irvine. She's out of Cerritos. She played with Del Reyes, the serving sub for Oregon. Oh my!
And there's that block.
Heavy roof.
That was pretty much down on that line below the net. That was quite a press over and close. And you've got Collier there, as we mentioned. They always try to match her up there with Babcock. Oregon 7 aces. They have been serving a lot tougher as the matches progressed. Only 5 errors, well 6 errors, excuse me, 7 aces. That's a good ratio.
Yeah, and they did keep Pitt out of system, which doesn't show up that way, but means they can't run their whole offense. They don't have all their options available. And that's important. Collier, side out percentage for Oregon right now, meaning when they serve, how often do they get the point? It's at 55% right now. It's when the opposing team serves. They're going to Ofebu, and she's saying they touched it.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been. Honestly, I thought it was. Again, don't know for sure till we review it.
Matt Ulmer is calling for that review. A challenge. Was the ball touched?
Ruling on the floor was Pitt's point. Oregon's challenging that it was contacted before it went out of bounds.
Nicole, what's going to separate one team from the other in this as we look at this set?
I think, as we mentioned,
No,
at the
no,
end, doesn't
and
look like it there.
There, oh
yes.
yeah, for sure.
On the defense there, number 10, Rachel Fairbanks, in the right back position.
Yep, her right hand.
Not able to get
On review, the
matrix
ball was
enough.
contacted before it goes out, so it's Oregon's point, and the challenge is retained.
Matt Ulmer doing well with his challenges. What's going to separate one team from the other down the stretch of this set?
It's the errors, the unforced errors, and taking care of the ball when you have it. And Coach Dan Fisher, early in the season, he told me that's one of the priorities for this Pitt team. Is he wants them to be the best small ball team in the country, good at jousting, deflections off the block, all the little plays that add up and make a difference.
Ace by Collier right out of the break. This is the #1 team in the nation. They have captured everybody's imagination all season long. Only one loss on their home floor, and they are being pressed by Oregon. Babcock up and over.
Stafford handling that serve on a nice pass, and Babcock back to the service line again. She has one of the most lethal jump serves in the nation. Can she get it going here?
No aces for her today, 70 on the season.
Serving out by the Panthers, point Oregon.
Kind of struggling with that serve today.
It's tough. It's a go big or go home kind of serve.
It is, and a lot of pressure here, you know. As we said, Pitt's been #1 all year. Coach said, we asked him, how has it been being #1 with the team? He's like, they have not been complacent. They are always wanting to get better, no matter the ranking.
Yeah, and if Babcock takes something off her serve, Oregon will side out anyway. Vasquez Gomez puts it on the money.
So just put it right into that back row attack. And if one area of the game isn't going as you hope, i.e. the serve, put it into other areas, this back row attack. And I think that attack, that high reach, think about that when you go back for the topspin serve. I know it helps me when I played to get things going, to get my arm up, to swing fast.
Bayless comes back in up front for Pitt. Tori Stafford serving. Back. And it was not an ideal set for a backcourt Babcock, and it was red all the way by Owabete.
She was ready for it. They know Babcock's back there, that she's getting a high percentage of sets, even in the back row. Got to be ready for it, and she was.
Oregon doubling up Pittsburgh 8-4 in this fourth set. Over. Solid joust. Hit with a feather. Quick to the outside. The peripatetic defense of Oregon allowed them to convert.
Well, and here's what I'm seeing from Oregon right now. Exactly what Coach Ulmer told us. He wanted them to expand the court, push the ball. Pitt plays a shallow defense, pushing that ball and pushing it behind the setter. That slide attack we talk about from the middles, and Oregon has had success.
Tough serving, a big part of Oregon's success as well, and that was a good example of it. Clyde, so flat and quick to Kobe Neal. Bayless, that's denial by Glover and Neal.
Huge swing from Bayless on the outside. She's not afraid of that block. She's coming up. Oregon blocked a little bit late on it, so she's able to hit down and tool it off.
Mallory Meyer, true freshman, has made some great defensive plays. She's into serve. Oregon trying to go super fast. Going back to Glover, it looks like Oregon's pressing the tempo.
Yeah, I think they are, yeah. They're trying to get it, but that's what Coach Ulmer said, is they don't want to force it too much, because these athletes, they get up and they can reach high. They can hit over the block. So I think they got to figure that balance out.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like it's going a little bit quick and flat to the middle. But they are in the lead, Owabete. Service ace. Communication looking a little shaky for Pittsburgh. That one between Klicka and Stafford.
And it's been those seam serves from Oregon that's been giving Pittsburgh some trouble. It's that early call before the ball crosses the net.
Again, the coach who usually calls serving signals for Oregon, Chester Dillard, not here. Matt Ulmer telling his team, do what you do best and most comfortable with. Babcock underneath it. Collier through. Big defense, that's Stafford. Collier again down. Wow. Oregon looks smooth and happy. Pittsburgh, it appears, looks stressed.
Pittsburgh's the #1 team in the country. This is the pressure for them. Oregon's coming in, if you want to say on paper, according to the rankings, the underdog. So since set one, I think they've been playing a lot better, a lot more free than we saw from that beginning set, and it's certainly paying off.
They're playing free. I think it's a great way to put it. I mean, they don't have any attack errors. They're hitting .438 in this set, the Ducks are. It's not that you come in with nothing to lose, because they certainly have a great tradition of NCAA tournament, but the pressure is on Pitt. You talked about at the beginning, to be perfect. Oregon, the last team to beat the Panthers here at home. And it was 14 months ago, maybe 15 months ago, depending on exactly what today's date is. And for Pittsburgh, what do they need to do to right the ship?
Well, we saw it in that last set. Oregon was putting the pressure on, then Pitt takes the lead. I think they just, again, not trying to play that perfect volleyball, but try to play a little bit more free. As I mentioned, Oregon seems to have on their side. There's a lot of communication errors and balls dropping between the players here on Pitt, whether it's serve receive, they're serving in the seams, or these free ball plays over the net running into each other.
Bree Kelly, you talked about it earlier. She's hitting .474. You talked about how great her hitting percentage is. Their passing is not strong enough to get it to Kelly more and more.
Well, Fairbanks is a talented setter. If the set's 5-7 feet off, she can still get it to Kelly, but that ball's a little bit farther than that.
Michelle Owabete with a good flat serve. Ball is up, what a block. Collier doesn't get anybody, but she does. The call is a touch. Is Fisher gonna challenge it?
And it looked like when Pitt came down off that block.
They were doing their celebration, but they're not demanding coach challenge it.
No, they're not.
That's how they always come down off the block. Ace serve followed up.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, this serving from Oregon, I know they usually get the signals. I can't tell, you know, what's happening over there if someone's giving them. But Oregon is serving free as well. They are giving their best serve they can, and I think that's taken a little bit off too.
Absolutely. Matt Ulmer said he wasn't going to give them signals unless there's something specific he wants.
That one again, that fast tempo was a perfect pass going to Kelly in the middle. That was a 3-set, we call it, in front of the setter. 1 straight up and down, kind of right off the setter, and that was a 3, a little bit of a push, trying to move the middle blockers.
A big lead, an 8-point lead for Oregon. Another good pass. They go to Bayless over her head. Composure is there. They go away from Babcock's block. Back court, risky set. That is not the set I would have picked, but it turned out for them. Give me your thoughts.
Well, Klein's taking some chances, and I think, you know, as a freshman setter, coach said, look, week after week, she has just grown, expanded, and playing with confidence.
He said that her vision and seeing the block and making the right choice instead of just setting the person has expanded. Middle. Babcock. And again, outside McKella. Chester, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm listening to Valeria Vasquez Gomez here on the sideline, and she is over by the coaches. not over by the rest of the players, but she is just yelling at her teammates to fight, fight. Let's stay in this rotation. This is where they're best. And she's out here coaching.
Great point. They need some kind of spark. Babcock attack. Mimi Collier. She just came in as a freshman and has carried such an incredibly heavy load. Over 1,200 total attempts all season, every season.
And she carries about 30% of this Oregon offense. I think to begin the year, coach said Klein, the setter, Mimi was a little bit of a security blanket for her, always going to her, but as the season progressed, again, getting that balance and setting anywhere she wants.
Again, low into the middle, backcourt. I like what they're doing with Olabente. That one, though, wide.
Well, and that was what they wanted to do this match. Again, as the season goes on, when I say a wrinkle, it's kind of a different look for a team as people scout throughout the season what teams are doing. So come tournament time, you got to have a couple little variations of what you looked like before.
Michaela told us that Valeria Vasquez-Gomez was very vocal on the sideline. She's now in and serving. Way to bring that back in. Stafford off hands and out. The lead is 9.
You can see Stafford there giving Click a high five. Way to go, get that dig, keeping it alive.
Dug with her left hand to bring it back inside the center of the court. Down the line, that's an excellent pass. That's 2 in a row for Pitt. They're gonna try to just chip away. And Matt Ulmer calls a timeout.
Chipping away, and Pitt having some success serving Morris for Oregon, the libero, and last set, but she handled that one, slid right into it. Will they go back to her? I think so.
3-0 run for Pittsburgh. They still trail by 8. For Pittsburgh, as Dan Fisher is talking to them, what would you want to see from the Panthers right now?
I think diving in, coming onto your side of the net, like, let's get back to our volleyball. Pitt is so good. They have so many weapons. They can pass the ball, they can dig. It just seems right now the energy I'm feeling is that urgency, like kind of extra. Like instead of that, let's play our game, we know how to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, they have been generally a very focused team. Meanwhile, in practice yesterday, Matt Ulmer took his team aside at the beginning. He thought they were a little too casual during the early peppering and saying, look, you don't get a warm-up into this match. You've got to attack and be aggressive from the very beginning. They had a little bit of a slow start, Oregon did, and then they just took off. Michaela has more on Oregon.
Just listening to that huddle, and spirits are very high. Matt Ulmer looked at Oni and said, what do you want to run? So, Emery, let's see what they run right now. I'm very interested in Oni's choice, but he likes the passing, he likes the tempo, and he just said, keep it up, let's play.
There's a lot to love, no doubt.
And from what I hear from Matt Ulmer with his serving, with that comment, he wants his players to feel good and confident and go for what they want, and that's what Oregon's doing.
Vasquez-Gomez continues her serving run. They do indeed go back to Morris, as you said. So that's 4 consecutive.
Well, in Oregon, in a 2-person right now, moved Mimi Collier up, who is in the front row, short, so she won't have to take on that passing load.
Yeah, they have been receiving with 2 today. Olabete taking even more space. They're keeping it on Morris, no problem. Glover's got your back.
Glover comes in so strong, gets off the net. She has such a quick approach and elevates.
Daly McClellan re-enters. McClellan comes in to serve. Serve is down the line. Back to Babcock. Bread and butter. Can they get Babcock going?
I mean, Fairbanks, so talented. Look at this, running across the court. Not to the outside, right in front of her. No thanks, I'll go all the way over there. And Babcock delivering.
Babcock has 23 kills and 12 digs. 23 kills is her career high. Collier finishes. Babcock again. Reaching over and blocking. Second blocker doesn't get up. Babcock puts it in. They get its break. Tori Stafford. Back third of the court kill.
Huge kill, another long rally. Stafford gets off the net, gives that space for Fairbanks to dial it up. Owabete of Oregon kind of slid to the line on defense there, and that middle back was wide open.
Flood to serve, keeping it on Morris. Again, it takes the middle out. Collier's got it, though, with a sledgehammer. They're putting that pressure on Morris, serving her continuously. And right now, Morris doesn't quite have it going up to the net. This is where those healthy pins really help out.
Absolutely, and Collier is one of the best.
Bringing it the other way. Sean Morris sets Owabete. Real clean touches for Pittsburgh. Oh, that's a disaster for them. Fairbanks and Klicka, your two anchor players, not communicating well.
And that's kind of what we've been seeing on those plays, that communication, and just you're there and then they're not. They back away.
Yeah, and this late in a season, that's surprising. Collier backcourt, she's of course offensive back there. Babcock doing the work. Is it going to be enough? They trail by 7.
Serving for Pitt, Dylan Griffin.
Dylan Griffin serving. At a Foothill Ranch, California. First time we're seeing her. Collier's got it, brings it back up. Well done. Touche.
Yeah, everyone's reacting to that one. Klein trying to go for the dump, but a double.
Yeah.
Can't do that as it, if she kept it on her side, okay, but not crossing the net.
It's a shame too, because it was intentional. Collier brought it right back into her hands. Serve goes out the other way. What a rip. Vasquez Gomez underneath it. Off hands into the antenna and down.
With Babcock out as they were setting her heavily in the back row, and she's back there. You got Stafford up, Ryla Jones in the middle.
Febu, beautiful long reach over Kristen Klein, moved her back to the middle. I would have left her on the outside. Collier. She makes it look so smooth and easy.
Well, again, and that's spreading their offense, as Coach said, with their attacks, and that was right to the sideline. Mimi Collier has been such a staple here for the Ducks since she stepped on campus.
Babcock back in. De La Reyes, who played club with Ofebu. Babcock, did you just take me out of the game?
Yeah, well, she needed a little breather just to come back and do that, and I don't blame her. They're getting her a lot of sets, her 56th attempt, but all right, we've seen her from the D-ball, which is the right back. That is down the middle, area 6, coming in on that Bic, as we mentioned earlier on, which is the faster pace set to the back row attack, straight down the pipe.
Stafford to Morris. Great pass by Morris. And it sets up that Michelle Owabete. We spent so much time talking about Collier. What is it about Owabete that makes her so difficult to defend?
Well, she has a lot of range. She elevates. I know she might be undersized according to, you know, what we see these days, over 6'2" and above, but she is an athletic, dynamic hitter, and she's really got a lot of tools in her belt, which means a lot of different shots that she can use.
Here's a free ball. Uh-oh. Again. Less than ideal.
Well, you can see Klein, Oregon setter. She's like, all right, I already got called on that back row once. I'm not jumping. I'm just putting my hands up right here. Maybe it'll bump off of them and cover it. But
the lead that was at 1 point 10 has now been cut to 5. Mallory Meyer. Remember, in the second set, Pitt didn't lead until the very last few points.
And that's that same swing we saw from Glover kind of late in set number 3, was trying to go for that very, very sharp angle. And again there, another error into the net. She's having so much success with just a little bit more off. I say keep going to it.
This is good. Smooth, great dig up and under it. Again, it's Mallory Meyer. Brought back in by Stafford. Babcock goes to swing. Ball is not down. And a timeout called by Matt Ulmer.
Oregon needs this timeout to regroup, to slow Pitt down. And as you mentioned, that huge lead, now only down to 3 points ahead. Pitt, very talented, but look, these teams are getting pushed in the tournament. The other years and previous, we've kind of seen the top teams going and rolling to, you know, the final 8, the final round. But now I feel like every round, every team is so talented. The parity has grown, and they are getting pushed like we haven't seen.
I agree. Even in the first 2 rounds, we saw Loyola Chicago upset. We saw Mizzou take down SMU. There's Craig Skinner watching, taking in the information, because his team, the Kentucky Wildcats, who beat Mizzou earlier today, will face the winner of Pitt, Oregon. He's saying, yeah, keep playing, just take it in data.
Well, and if Oregon wins this one, it will push to a 5th set, play to 15. So, you know, anything can happen. How is Oregon going to come out of this timeout and respond? They've got to stop Pitt's momentum shift. They got fire in their eyes here at Pittsburgh on their side. And again, it's those unforced errors right now on both sides.
Reminder, Pittsburgh leads this match 2-1, a must-win set for Oregon. Pass is good. You're gonna give it to Collier, but the dig, again, Mallory Meyer. Mallory Meyer, the freshman's been unreal.
I know, and that's a shame that went out, because that was a beautiful adjustment by Meyer. Collier cranked that one down before on the back row. Meyer made an adjustment, took a step to her left, and was in reach to make that nice one-hand dig.
For Pittsburgh, Klicka is a senior, Kat Flood is a grad student. I'm just saying, Mallory Meyer. Collier tries to cut it too sharp. You know, somebody can go off on the service line here and cause some real trouble. That can go either way. Here's Fairbanks. They keep it on Morris. Mimi Collier.
Well, she is
So
nailing
light.
that angle. Honestly, I know Meyer got that last back row attack angle up there. That one, Klicka, was a little bit to the right. Mimi has a very sharp angle.
Set point, Oregon. Stafford's pass is contained. They go to the middle. Bree Kelly. Ball is touched. It'll be Valeria Vasquez Gomez on the end line serving. Set point number 2 for the Ducks. lobbing it on Morris. She responds. Glover, it's sent back. Out to Collier. Tori Stafford, off hands. Does she get the touch? They say she does. And Dan Fisher has that challenge card out of his pocket so quickly. Dan Fisher will challenge whether that was touched. The original call was that it was.
Original call was Oregon's point. The Pitt coach is challenging that there was 4 contacts.
Oh, interesting. Well, we'll have to review that because I don't know what 4 contacts were. I thought it was in or out. Do you have an opinion, Nicole?
Well, I thought it was he was challenging a touch off the block. So, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
We'll take a look and see what he saw or what he thinks he saw to get that 4th contact.
So there's one.
1 touch off the block right
Yep.
there on the left hand.
Yep. Unless he thinks that both blockers touched it, but we just saw clearly it was 1. That's 2.
Upon
Here's
review,
3.
the original call is confirmed. It was not 4 contacts. Oregon's point. The game match that's going to a 5th set.
Let's head to a 5th set. Oregon winning the 2nd and 4th sets. The #1 team overall is going to be pushed at home.
Be aggressive and go after it. So I'd like to see that change as well.
Pittsburgh targeted Mackenzie Morris a lot in that serve receive. Morris's passes weren't perfect, but they were good enough to let them go to their strengths, which are their outside hitters for Oregon, Michelle Owabete and Mimi Collier.
And Oregon's got 4 players in double-digit kills.
Balance. Owabete will start things off. A reminder, the 5th set is just at 15 points, win by 2. Set outside to Collier. Ball was out. Dan Fisher, card in his hand. And he is absolutely going to challenge. Was that in or out? It was on the Oregon bench's side, though, so he's relying on his players.
The original point was to Oregon. Pitt coach believes that ball was in.
So this is worth noting. He has another challenge in this set, and that's it. So he's using it on the first point.
I mean, there's a lot on the line here.
Yeah.
For both of these teams to advance, but as Pitt, as they've been the #1 team all season long, and the
They're
last
tight.
3 years, the last 3 years have fallen short of that championship. So this is what they want. They want that championship, and they're going to do whatever it takes. So just come out, point #1, and let's find out if that was in or out. Had quite some spin on it coming off the block.
Well, so it's important to note, it isn't about whether the ball breaks the plane of the white line. It's about whether it touches the white line. Now, the original call was out. If the evidence is not conclusive, the call will stand. That's different from being confirmed.
Tough to tell there, but it looks almost like if it's down there, a little bit of the white.
Tough to see. I'm not going to make that call. Both teams have 2 challenges. If Dan Fisher is successful in getting this overturned, he retains his challenge. If not, he has 1 remaining. The set, I said, is to 15 points. The teams will switch sides at 8.
Upon review, the ball was in. It's going to be Pittsburgh. They retain their challenge.
official Callie Kimura is the most popular person in Pittsburgh right now. That was a tough call, and she's a very good official.
Absolutely.
Serving for the Panthers,
Valeria Vasquez Gomez serving, Pitt leading 1-0. This is good, ball down. Babcock. High hands.
I'm pretty sure this place is going to be erupting on every single point, standing on their feet this entire match.
I kind of want to stand on my feet too.
Beautiful set from Klicka to Babcock. Nice height, able to get on top of it and attack the Oregon block.
Huge front line for Pittsburgh with Stafford and Babcock on either side, and a service ace.
Well, what a way to start this fifth set is having Stafford, Babcock, Bree Kelly in the middle. I mean, look out.
And Vasquez serving an ace. Oh boy. Can't get that ball over, no touch, 4 contacts, point Pittsburgh.
And here comes that mental toughness piece for Oregon after a very thrilling fourth set.
Matt Ulmer takes the first of his 2 allotted timeouts to slow the Pitt roll. Valeria Vasquez Gomez isn't playing in the front court. She has been pivotal in the back.
She struggled in the front court early on, so they put in Blair Bayless, but Vasquez Gomez is staying in there because she's got 3 aces on the night, and her digging has been unbelievable. 10 digs, making a huge difference back there for Pitt.
Vasquez Gomez does it again. Sets up the overpass kill.
You can see head coach Dan Fisher, I don't know what he's saying, but I kind of feel like he's saying, and that's what I'm talking about.
Valeria Vasquez Gomez is in her 6th year. She could have been done. She came back for her final year of eligibility in pursuit of a championship because she knew how special this team was. Collier, it's the first time they've been able to get the ball to her, and she kills.
Mimi Collier, 15 kills on the night. And right now, Oregon looking for that momentum.
Deafening inside this arena right now. Pass is good by Stafford, back out to her. Bree Kelly in the middle. And finish, the crowd goes quiet.
Silent.
Oni Ofebu.
There's a few greens in here. I see we need them. They got to get on their feet. Oni in the front row and Mimi Collier, Noemi Glover on the right side of the court. They've got a talented powerhouse for Oregon.
Morris's serve at Stafford again. Babcock plants and pounds.
That's the hard part right now with Babcock up and then Bree Kelly in the middle. Oni Ofebu's got to hold a little bit. You just can't release to go back to her. So Oregon a little bit late on that block, and Babcock able to attack the seam, which is the hole right in between the 2 Oregon players.
Cat Flood into serve. Of course, you got Stafford on the outside as well. Devastating front line for Pittsburgh. Back. so important that they have Glover out there, because I'm thinking every ball going to Collier, and it's so nice that they don't have to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. She has a supporting cast, if you will. We know she gets most of the sets, but she really does have some other athletes that are on her team that can help out.
3 serving 6, McClellan at the service line. Stafford. Collier off the hands of Babcock. Babcock so tall, she tosses it back down. Tori Stafford, Babcock well off the net. Oh, wow. It was ping pong, but I believe it's a touch of the net in the middle by Oregon.
Ofebu of Oregon shaking her head like I didn't touch it, so possible challenge coming here.
The ruling on the floor, it was Pitt's point. Oregon's challenge that was not a net.
I like the way that Callie said that. Challenging that wasn't a net. Here's a result.
Upon review, that was a net. It's Pitt's point. The challenge is lost.
Solid call. It was indeed a net. Tough ball, lots of pressure. Mimi Collier serving. Babcock is backcourt. Ryla Jones up front. Fairbanks is up front. Tori Stafford on the outside. Stafford's pass. From behind the setter, it's good. And Nicole, I'm watching there. They were going to bring Babcock up through the middle, not through D-ball there.
We saw that before, making that adjustment down the middle, area 6, when you're coming down the middle of the court, the BIC, as we called it, that faster tempo backcourt set.
Collier again to Stafford. Here's that set to Babcock that we just talked about. And it's communication errors for Oregon.
It is, and that was a tough one, but that attack from Babcock down the middle. Look, Oregon shut down the D-ball, which is in the right back, so they were doing a good job. Pitt, that's their adjustment to bring her down without losing the back row attack completely, and it's helping.
Teams are switching sides because it's at 8 points halfway through the 5th set, which goes to 15, must win by 2. So far in this set, Oregon has 4 attack errors. A quick rip by Owabete. Pitt does not have any attack errors.
No, and you know, that is why they've been #1. They really are able to control those and clean it up. We saw some of those unforced communication errors happening. Those weren't attack errors, just communication errors.
De Los Reyes serve to the back line, does a good job getting them out of comfort zone. Pancake up. It's good on the back line. De Los Reyes slides in there just
What a dig, a pancake, throwing that hand out, and that's what we call it in the volleyball world. A pancake just comes right up the top of her hand.
De Los Reyes serving. She's the most emotional one that we saw during practice. Has a service ace.
And when we asked Coach Ulmer about Fearless Race, he just lights up. He says she is the ultimate teammate, the all-time great teammate that you want on your team. She's got all the energy, and with her serve, she consistently puts the ball in good spots.
Dan Fisher takes a timeout as this has now been locked up. A 3-0 scoring run brought them back to even. Nicole, we have 7 points left if this ends in extra points. Tell me what each team needs to accomplish right now.
I think the work has been put in. These teams know how to play volleyball. For Pitt, it's, again, not, I need to say this correctly, but not playing to lose. They need to go out there and play to win the match, not to wait for Oregon to make the mistakes. They know what to do. They know the hard work they've put in. Now is the time. And for Oregon, it's to keep playing free as they've been doing. I think that's what's really kept them in this entire match tonight. They're tough serving and making those digs when it counts.
The last time Pitt was eliminated this early was in 2019, ironically, when the national championship was here at Pittsburgh. They were eliminated in the second round that year. Otherwise, they're used to going deep into the NCAA tournament.
And for Oregon, Daly McClellan and Mimi Collier are really the only ones with experience this late in the tournament.
Dayla's race will continue to serve. Had 2 now, got them in trouble, plus the ace. Babcock has him take it down. That's a double contact.
You can see Klicka there for Pitt in the blue jersey. She is just taking it all. That ball even looked like it might be going out, but she is not gonna risk it. Going for it, and that one not enough for Oregon to keep it alive. 2 touches by Owabete.
Yep, that's the attack line, the number 4. That's about the back line. Did the person from the back court cross that attack line?
The original ruling was Pitt's point. Oregon's challenging that the attacker was on the line in the back row. And upon review, she was not. She was cleared.
Very quick review on that.
Point retained and challenge lost. He has no more challenges.
That's the most important part, is that Matt Ulmer does not have any challenges remaining.
Take another look here at the back row attack. Again, that white line is what you cannot cross if you're attacking from the back row, and she is well behind it. Olivia Babcock right there for Pitt, leading with 28 kills, 65 attempts so far tonight.
Collier, it's brought back. Babcock will take another swing. McClellan, beautiful dig, putting that in play so that Owabete can put it down.
I like Owabete's style. She's coming in hard. She's cranked some angle, and that one, a little side spin on the ball, back to the right back position of the court.
Klein serving. Collier in the back court for Oregon. Babcock. She'll swing till her arm falls off.
And I don't blame her. I don't blame her for getting all those sets. She is getting the job done. Next in line is Tori Stafford with 14 kills.
Babcock with a new career high, 29 kills, 1 away from 30. Collier's pass. Owabete. Ball and is out, but there's a net violation against Oregon. That's a gift to Pitt.
And a miss here by Babcock on the attack, but Oregon coming down the elbow forearm into the net.
This is the final timeout for Matt Ulmer. He does not have any challenges left, and he does not have any timeouts left.
Yeah, there's no way to slow down the game after this, so this is the one. Regroup, take a deep breath. They do a lot of mindfulness at Oregon at both of these schools.
Yeah, they need to take some time and talk about it. Meanwhile, Pitt relying on Olivia Babcock. 30 kills for Olivia Babcock. Not only is it a career high, but she is the first Pitt player to do that since Kelly Campbell in 2007. Just a sophomore.
Wow.
Want to have a Player of the Year discussion?
Dangerous. Yeah, I mean, we've been
there's a
having
lot
it
of
this
good
whole
ones.
week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good ones, and you will see them throughout today and tomorrow. Just incredible. Fans are ready and fired up. Let's check in with McKella.
Yeah, they're getting fired up in the Oregon huddle. Matt Ulmer saying now is the time. Now's the time to out-team them. Now's the time to out-tough them. Let's go out there and do this.
Out-team, out-tough. Oregon going to rely upon their culture at this point.
Absolutely, and they have a good one, and no regrets. Leave it all on the court, no matter what you got. Even if they're not thinking they're tired at all. They're not even thinking about that. They're just thinking, set me the next ball.
And you know this about me, Nicole. Please don't tip the ball.
Exactly.
Right? Don't tip. It's still good. There you go, good swing. Every ball to Babcock at this point.
I wouldn't blame them if they do. She has been on fire and making wonderful decisions when she goes up there. She's thumb down off of the outside hand of Michelle Oabete of Oregon. And right now it's one at a time.
Fairbanks serving. That's a beautiful serve. Really hard to read. It's good. People have cleared out. Oabete outside the antenna. For Oregon. Oabete, her final year. Ofebu, a senior as well. Mackenzie Morris. Absolute disaster as you're running across. It is match point. This never happens.
This is just unfortunate, but this is what happens and kind of risky when you're going to make that move all the way around the court.
#1 team in the nation, the top overall seed. Match point. Oabete, big dig. Bayless for the swing. High hands, got a touch. And not yet.
You can see Oabete's got a tough serve. Olivia Babcock over here taking a deep breath.
Babcock, Kelly, and Stafford up front. This is for the match. Babcock off the block, touched off Babcock again, and again, satisfaction delayed. Dan Fisher calls a timeout. Gives Matt Ulmer a break because he didn't have any.
No, and a big swing, but that block came back and bonked Babcock on the head. Take another look here. Look how high she is, and she's just, that's the thing about jumping so high. Sometimes you get in the way.
What a match. Oregon is not done.
No, they're not. And this is what you play for. Honestly, this, although stressful for the players and the coaches, this is why you play. This is the love of the game. This is so exciting, and what you put all that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears for these moments.
The #1 overall seed has not lost in a regional semifinal since 2010. It was Florida versus Purdue. Meanwhile, that's 2 match points fought off by Oregon. Pittsburgh in their most successful rotation with Kelly, Stafford, and Babcock up top. Match point number 3, Panthers. Every fan in the arena on their feet. Serve is good. Stafford, dime pass. To the middle, blocked. Third time denied.
And this is what helped Oregon kind of bounce back from set number 1 was their defensive game. Their block came up huge, and they were making big plays just as they're doing right now. And Owabetse putting in some tough serves.
Pittsburgh just made a change. They have put Valeria Vasquez-Gomez in on the serve receive. They serve Vasquez-Gomez. Bree King to the middle. Is there a touch? There is not. Pittsburgh survives Oregon